The night it began, the rain fell like it was trying to erase the city, blurring streetlights into trembling halos and pressing loneliness against every window. Inside a small corner diner in Ohio, a woman with tired eyes and borrowed shoes wiped down a counter she did not own, unaware that one ordinary decision to help a friend would quietly collide with a life far larger than hers. Fate has a way of disguising itself as coincidence, and that evening, it wore the uniform of a waitress who believed she was invisible. Before the story pulls you any deeper, take a moment and let this message sink in. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet power of doing good when no one is watching, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Her name was Hannah Carter, a 28-year-old woman who had learned early how to stretch hope thin without letting it tear. She lived in a modest apartment on the edge of town, balancing 2 jobs and an aging car that rattled like it might give up at any red light. Hannah had dreams once, big ones shaped by notebooks and late-night prayers, but life had narrowed them into something simpler: stability, dignity, and the chance to care for her younger brother after their mother passed away. On that particular night, she was not even supposed to be there. She had agreed to fill in for her friend Rebecca at the diner after a double shift at the nursing home, pulling on a spare uniform that did not quite fit and tying her hair back with an elastic already losing its strength. The diner itself was a place frozen in time, vinyl booths cracked from decades of use, the smell of coffee soaked permanently into the walls, and a bell over the door that announced every arrival like a small ceremony. Hannah moved through the space quietly, carrying plates, refilling cups, offering warmth without expecting anything back. She did not notice the man in the corner booth at first, the one who sat with straight posture and thoughtful eyes, his expensive coat folded neatly beside him as if he did not want to take up more space than necessary. His name was Michael Thornton, though in boardrooms across the country, his name carried weight, influence, and power. To the world, he was a CEO whose decisions moved markets. In that diner, he was simply another customer seeking shelter from the rain. Michael had not planned to stop there. A delayed flight and a long drive had rerouted his evening, and exhaustion led him to the first warm light he saw. Yet from the moment Hannah crossed his path, something shifted. It was not beauty in the conventional sense that caught him, but the way she listened, the way she treated each person as if they mattered, even when her shoulders sagged from fatigue. Michael had spent years surrounded by people who wanted something from him. Hannah wanted nothing at all, and that absence of expectation felt like a rare gift. Over the following weeks, Michael found himself returning to the diner whenever his schedule allowed, always choosing the same booth, always observing more than he spoke. Hannah never asked his name, never treated him differently from anyone else. She did not know that he had memorized the way she tucked loose strands of hair behind her ear when concentrating, or how her eyes softened when elderly customers struggled with their change. She did not know that after each visit, he left feeling strangely lighter, as if watching her quiet resilience reminded him of who he had been before ambition hardened him. Hannah's life outside the diner continued to press in on her. Medical bills for her brother piled up, the nursing home reduced her hours, and her landlord hinted at an upcoming rent increase. Some nights she sat alone, calculating numbers that refused to align, whispering prayers she hoped were still being heard. Yet she showed up each day with the same gentle steadiness, believing that doing right by others might somehow circle back. She did not know she was already changing someone else's life. Michael began to learn her story in fragments, overheard conversations, small details offered casually. He discovered that she was filling in shifts whenever she could, that she was caring for family, that she never complained. His admiration deepened into something more complicated, something that made him confront the imbalance between their worlds. He struggled with whether to reveal who he was, fearing it would shatter the fragile authenticity of their connection. Instead, he chose distance masked as anonymity, helping in ways she could not trace, like arranging a donation to the nursing home or quietly ensuring her brother received specialized care through a foundation bearing no obvious ties to him. The turning point came on a night when the diner was nearly empty, the rain replaced by a brittle cold that seeped into bones. Hannah arrived late, shaken after learning her car repairs would cost more than she had saved. The weight of everything pressed close to breaking, and though she held herself together, the cracks showed. Michael saw it immediately. That night, he left behind more than a generous tip. He left a handwritten note with no signature, words of encouragement and belief that spoke directly to the doubts Hannah carried. She found it while cleaning the table, her hands trembling as tears blurred the ink. For the first time in months, she allowed herself to cry, not from despair, but from the strange relief of being seen. Life began to change in subtle but undeniable ways. Hannah was offered a permanent position at the diner with better hours. Her brother's health stabilized. Opportunities appeared that felt less like accidents and more like answers. She never connected them to the quiet men in the corner booth, though she sensed that someone, somewhere, cared. Michael, meanwhile, found himself reevaluating his own life, recognizing that success without connection felt hollow. The woman who thought she was just filling in had unknowingly filled a space in him he had long ignored. Eventually, truth could not remain hidden. Circumstances brought Michael's identity into the open when the diner was selected for a community spotlight funded by his company. Hannah stood in stunned silence as she realized who he was, replaying every interaction through a new lens. There was no anger, only a deep, humbling understanding of how carefully he had protected her dignity. Their worlds did not merge overnight, and there were challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. But there was also trust, built slowly, honestly, and without pretense. As seasons passed, Hannah's life transformed not because she had been rescued, but because she had been respected. She pursued education she once thought impossible, supported by encouragement rather than control. Michael learned to step out from behind his title, discovering that love rooted in humility was stronger than any empire he had built. Together, they invested in others like Hannah once was, people quietly carrying burdens no one applauded. If this story is touching something inside you, if it reminds you that kindness often works in silence and love grows where ego steps aside, please pause for a moment now. Like the video, share it, and let us know in the comments that stories like this matter. Your engagement helps spread hope further than you might realize. And before the ending, we have one special request for you. Please comment the word kindness below if you believe small acts can change lives, because we read every comment and they truly make a difference. In the end, Hannah sometimes thought back to that rainy night, to the borrowed uniform and the belief that she was merely filling in. She smiled at how small choices can ripple outward, shaping futures in ways no one can predict. Somewhere between coffee refills and quiet glances, two lives had intersected, proving that you never know who is watching, who is learning from you, or who might be changed by simply being treated with care. And maybe that is the real miracle, that in a world obsessed with being seen, the greatest transformations often begin when no one is looking.